My name is Sarah. I live in Germany. I am a single mother. Friends, today I'm going to share the story of my life, the story of a single mother. So come with me as I take you back to the time where my story truly began. I was born in 1978 in a wealthy family. I was literally born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I never had to worry about money. Since childhood, I studied in an elite school. I always thought I was better than everyone else. Because of my wealth, I became very arrogant. My behavior caused a lot of trouble for my parents and relatives. The principal often called home to complain about me. I wasn't even good in studies. Eventually, my parents sent me to a boarding school. Somehow, I completed my schooling. Then my parents got me admitted to a prestigious college. All my friends were selfish. They stayed around me only because of my money. I used to party and go to discos almost every day. I was more interested in fun than studies. I had many boyfriends in college. I changed them every 2 or 3 months. I never took anyone seriously. I measured people only by their money. That's how my days went by. It was my final year of college when I decided to organize a party. I invited some of my friends to a cafe near the college. I reached early because I had some work to finish. After completing my work, I went to the cafe. The cafe was right next to the ocean. I was sitting there, enjoying the cool breeze, when I ordered a cold coffee. After a while, my eyes fell on a table nearby. A guy around 25 years old, wearing jeans and a white t-shirt, was sitting there. He was very handsome. He had been looking at me for a while, and as soon as I looked back, he turned away. Without hesitation, he walked straight toward me, smiled, and said, "Hi, I'm Kevin. May I sit here?" He was so handsome that I couldn't take my eyes off him. I nodded. "Yes." He said, "You're very beautiful." Being alone in a place like this doesn't suit you. I smiled and said, "Thank you." Just then, my friends arrived. Before leaving, Kevin handed me a card and said, "This is my card. I'm the CEO of ABS Company. If you don't mind, may I have your number?" I don't know what happened to me that day. Everything he said felt so right. Without thinking, I gave him my number. Then I went inside the cafe with my friends. That evening, while I was getting ready for a party, Kevin called me. We started talking, and before I knew it, 2 hours had passed. Talking to Kevin felt like talking to someone I had known for years. Then someone knocked at my door. It was my servant. He said, "Ma'am, your friends are here." That's when I remembered about the party. I said goodbye to Kevin and left to meet my friends. But that night, even at the party, my mind wasn't there. For the first time in my life, I couldn't stop thinking about someone. I couldn't believe I was feeling this way. I left the party halfway and went home. The next morning, I called Kevin. He had just woken up, but we still talked for hours and planned to meet in the afternoon. I skipped college that day and went to meet him. We met at a cafe and shared everything about our lives. From that day onward, we started meeting every single day. Slowly, I began drifting away from my friends. I barely went to college once a week. It was my final year, but I didn't care about studies anymore. Only Kevin. One morning, I fell very sick. My condition stayed the same for 3 days. I took some medicine, but it didn't help. Then I went to the doctor. After a few tests, the doctor looked at me seriously and said something that shook my world. He said, "You are 5 months pregnant." I froze. The ground slipped from under my feet. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I started crying uncontrollably. The doctor tried to calm me down. Somehow, I gathered myself and went home. I immediately called Kevin and asked him to meet me right away. He said, "What happened?" "We can meet in the evening," I said. "Please come soon. I'm waiting for you at the cafe." A little while later, Kevin arrived. Through tears, I told him everything. The smile vanished from his face. After a moment, he said, "Don't worry, I'm here for you. I'll talk to your parents about our marriage." Hearing that, I felt relieved. He dropped me home that evening, and I couldn't stop thinking about him all night. For the first time, I felt I had truly fallen for someone. The next morning, I called him again. He said he was going out for work. That evening, I tried calling him, but he didn't answer. I thought maybe he was still busy. I kept calling the whole night, but he never picked up. The next day, I called again. Still no answer. I started to panic. Kevin had never behaved like this before. Then I decided to go to his office. When I got there, a lady at the reception asked me to wait. After 5 minutes, she called me in. When I asked her about Kevin, her words stunned me. She said, "Kevin resigned 3 months ago. He doesn't work here anymore." I showed her the business card he had given me. She said, "This is an old card. He used to work here a long time ago." When I asked for his address, she said, "Sorry, we don't have any personal information." I walked out broken. I had been in a relationship with him for a year, yet I didn't even know where he lived. How foolish I was. I stopped meeting people. My exams were near, and I had already distanced myself from my friends. I had no one to talk to. No true friends because of my past behavior. The only person I could turn to was my mother. That night, I decided to tell her everything. She was shocked at first, but then she held me and said, "We'll figure this out together." She asked, "Can we contact Kevin somehow?" I said, "Mom, I don't even know where he lives." She said, "Don't worry. Tomorrow morning, we'll go to the doctor." The next day, we went to the doctor. Mom told him everything and showed him the reports. I said I didn't want to keep the baby. The doctor said, "It's too late for an abortion now. It could risk your life." Hearing this, my mom said, "Sarah, don't worry. I'll handle everything." Then we left for home from the clinic. That evening, my parents talked. My father came to me, hugged me, and said, "Everyone makes mistakes. Don't worry. I'll find Kevin." My parents stood by me completely. Every day, I hoped Dad would find Kevin, but he never did. Slowly, everyone came to know about my pregnancy. I had to drop out of college. I stopped going out. No one came to visit me. One day, my parents came into my room and said, "You have to start a new life now. Life is long and full of new beginnings. Good days are waiting for you. You are strong. You must live for your child. Don't worry about the baby. We'll take care of everything. We've decided to move to Germany. It's a new country, new people, a chance for you to start over." That day, my father spoke what my heart had been longing to hear. I wanted to leave everything behind. Soon after, we moved to Germany. A month later, my daughter was born. Her birth brought joy back into our home. I saw my parents happier than ever before. Even then, I couldn't completely forget my pain. One day, my mother said, "Sarah, this house is full of happiness again, but I haven't seen you smile. Our granddaughter just turned 1. Don't you think it's time to do something for yourself?" I said, "Mom, I don't feel like doing anything." She replied, "You always loved traveling since childhood." Why don't you become a travel blogger? You'll get to explore new places and meet new people. It'll help you heal and bring joy back into your life. I thought about it deeply. Maybe my life turned out this way because I never listened to anyone. This time, I decided to listen to my mom. I started working as a travel blogger. At first, I didn't enjoy it, but gradually, I fell in love with it. I traveled to many places, met many people, and learned the true meaning of life. Sometimes, I even took my daughter Laura with me. Now, my daughter Laura, and my parents are truly happy. Germany changed my life completely. All credit goes to my parents. They pulled me out of my darkest days. Friends, if you like this story, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to comment. Your comments motivate us. That's all for today. See you again with another beautiful story.